right, everybody, welcome to the Burn Bootcamp Podcast. We got Trainer Talk in the house. Tallahassee's in the building. Let's go, everybody! All right, let's go ahead and do some introductions real quick so you know who you're talking about. You guys know me. I'm hosting. I'm here all the time.
I mean, you should know me. I'm Becky Patterson. I'm a franchise partner of Burn Tallahassee. I've been in the system since 2017, which makes me 5 years old, 500 years old, whatever, same thing.
Nikki North. I am a former head trainer, started in 2018, and now I'm the ops manager.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am the client experience manager. I'm also one of the trainers here at Burn Tallahassee, and I've been here since February. Yeah, February. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Hey, I'm Carrie Kline. I've been here for almost a year now. I'm the lead trainer. I'm originally from Ohio, so go Bucks!
All right. So listen, we're gonna do three things today for you guys, okay? And I got the tally crew in here to assist me. And the three things are the following. Number one, we want to know. I actually want to know this, Carrie. Carrie's like the member whisperer, and she gives nicknames to all of her members and has like these inside relationships. And we want to talk about why it's so important to have these inside jokes, have these nicknames, and really how that fosters a community. You know, when we're talking about a fitness podcast, we need to create communication and relationships and all of that. And so we're gonna go deep on that. Number two is we're gonna show you some push-up variations. So whether you have never been able to do a normal standard push-up, or you are in the mode to start doing some crazy like mod ups, we're gonna show you a bunch of variations. And we're just gonna like circle up here. If you are listening to this, you might not be able to see us circling up. You can go to YouTube to check out the video because it's in both places. But we're gonna circle up and we are gonna do just a bunch of push-up variations for you. And finally, we're gonna do the same thing, but it's going to be with the pull-up. What we believe is that everyone, you should strive to do one pull-up, okay? Or if you can already do one or two or three or four or five, then you're striving to set a PR with your pull-ups. What is more empowering than getting up on that rig and being able to do a pull-up? Most people, it's not that they can't, they haven't been able to do it yet. We're gonna show you how to do that. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, guys, so let's start with, I know that you are so excited to talk about this topic, and we can just kind of pitch it around and talk about some of the, unique nuances that allows us to really create those relationships with our members.
Okay, so do you mean to just start like...
I would ask you the question like, okay, when I talked to Becky yesterday, I was flying from Charlotte to Tally, and I called her on my way to the airport, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do a trainer talk tomorrow, and we're gonna have Carrie there. What's Carrie an expert at? The first thing that she said is she creates really specific relationships with everyone around inside jokes and nicknames and things like that. Why do you do that?
To me personally, coming from Ohio, I thought like, I'm very funny and goofy, so, why not make it, bring my personality on the floor. So I think being funny and goofy, it shows like, one, you're personal, you can come up to people, and it shows like when they come in too, like this is not just like, hey, here, go, bye. It's more of like, I'm trying to get to know you and you get to see me. So me, I just make random like jokes. Like if I want heavier weights, like I literally say, hey, you're looking good today. These 25s can go good with that shirt. So I swear, it's like even those people that have those bracelets on, they work out, I'm like, these are gonna look good with that accessory. Yeah. So just like little things like that, they helps with it. And then like one thing that just popped in my mind is like, did Jillian, when you talked to her, did she say anything about Jillian Jacks?
No, she didn't tell me about that. I want to hear about it. So quick. Let me frame this. So Jillian, we actually did we did a podcast with Jillian and Becky yesterday, and Jillian is a member here. Her whole family, Eli, Silas, Brett, Jillian, they all are here now, and so that's who you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm a demo her Jack. I can remember.
Show me the Jack Sparrow run.
Is this a new exercise?
Yes, this is her. She wants this on the floor. Like she literally goes like this, and I mean like she lifts her leg up, and everyone's like staring at her, and then
Show me her karaoke's, because she looks like Jack Sparrow when she does her karaoke's. With the arms. With it, she does like this.
Yeah. I'm like, what? And I can even say, okay, everyone do Jillian Jacks. Everyone knows what they are, and everyone's just like, I'm like, oh my god, this is the thing, let's go, okay. So just like being funny and personal, I think it helps, people that trust you too. A lot of people like trust me, they're like, okay, Carrie's like human, I know she's goofy, like I'm also gonna work hard. So for me, they just know I'm just goofy, so.
Yeah, that key word is trust. I thought you're building this relationship. Well, first of all, like practically nobody, if they're unless they're sick, twisted individuals like us, they don't actually like the objective like curl. Like it hurts, you know. Like so, you kind of have to like pad it with some fun, or you know, it's just this thing that's not hard to do, and nobody's gonna want to do it. What comes to your mind when you guys think like in this gym? What comes to your mind about some other things? I heard Jillian. What are some other things, Nick? Do you have anything that you have done with a member? Like for example, similar to what you do, I actually, when I'm trying to get people to lift heavier weights, I'll actually go over and I'll grab it and I'll bring it over to them. I'm like, oh my God, I found him. He's here. She's here. Like, it's real. You left it over there. I know you're so sad, right? And just messing around with them, making it fun. Do you have anything?
No, I do about the same thing that Carrie does. I usually just say like, hey, how you feeling today? And then they're like, oh, I'm feeling good. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's some more weights. And they're like, crap, I should have said I wasn't feeling good. Or just like making a joke saying like, oh, this looks really good with your outfit today. Love doing that with all the members. And then they usually laugh.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I get a lot of my things. I kind of feed off of a lot of you guys just because being a little bit more newer here, not knowing the members as well. I'm getting there, but not almost, or not all the way. But yeah, I would say just, like making that joke, making it feel more personable, making it feel like it's not this scary thing, picking up something heavy, but actually making it feel like it's actually like attainable, like a thing that is, you know, like giving them the power to do it by just handing it to them. And, you know, also lightening it up with a little bit of a joke, something funny.
Right, but it's a human product.
Exactly.
Right? We have a human product, right? So it has to be relational and not transactional.
Exactly.
Right? If it was just cold and unfeeling, it would be miserable. Right? But like, if you make it fun, if you find out what their favorite song is and get them dancing, right? Or if you, like, I mean, the 430 is my favorite, man. I didn't say the F word. I don't have any favorites. All right. You know, like they are just, they're cuckoo, man. To be up before 5 a.m., you have to be crazy. But you know, the way they bounce off of each other, you find those people that kind of interplay and already have a relationship, and you can just jump right in the middle of that, frog splash, boom. And like now you just blow the entire station up, right? But it's like, that little minute of levity, right, will carry them the rest of the camp, and they walk out the door grinning ear to ear, right? Best 45 minutes of their day, right? So like, I think it just adds that next level to a great product, which is just that much better.
Yeah, I agree. And I also, like, when I first started, one thing I found worked so well for like retention and just making people feel like they belong, like a part of a community, was giving them a nickname. Because my mission was to like help them rediscover or recreate themselves or find a new identity or progress. Dog. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So like how many nicknames do you give out? Like for example, there was one lady, her name is Kathy, but her last name started with a B, so I just started calling her KB, and now nobody even knows her real name. Right. Like they just call her by KB, and that to her is empowering because that's the identity that she was looking for when she walked in the gym in the first place. So when people come in, I'm just giving them that new identity and saying, hey, here you go. Now, like, you know, let's have fun with it.
Pam Pareda, I named her Mad Dog like 2 camps in. And
she's only known as
Mad Dog. But like, she would even write her name down. We would have like things to like put on the wall or whatever. She'd be like, Mad Dog. Like, that was her identity from then on, right? It's like when she walked in the gym, that was Mad Dog. Pam was no more. And she puts on Pam when she leaves.
I remember one day you asked Amy Steffens, like, what's your middle name? Or I don't even know how it happened, but you always call her now, Amy Jo. Amy Jo.
We had 2 Amy's, and so I was like, they both looked at me, and I'm like, what's your middle name? She's like, Jo. I'm like, you'll always be Amy Jo. And people are like, people probably think that's her like actual name.
Jo.
They're like, she's like, yeah, she's just used to it. And then there's so many Jennifers at the 5:30 camp, and so she's like, just call me JB, and every time I think of Justin Bieber, but I'm like, JB, I see you.
The Biebs.
We had a member, Jimmy, and for the longest time we called him James because that's how he signed his name, and so like he never said anything, and then finally I saw his wife laugh. And I was like, why are you laughing? She was like, he goes by Jimmy. So then
we're like 9 weeks in.
Yeah. So he was always Jimmy James. And so like the 5:30 a.m. was always like, go Jimmy James. And he was just like, cool, awesome.
Yeah. Well, doesn't like, and you can see like people how endearing it is to them when like you give them a nickname because it makes them feel like a part of the community. Yeah. I mean, when Morgan trained in Cornelius, they called her No Mercy Morgan. It works the other way too, right? Like members, you start giving them like nicknames.
Carrie has one.
Scary Carrie.
Scary Carrie. Let's go.
Scary Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4:30 used to call me Roz from Monsters Inc.
What?
Always watching.
I like that one.
They're always like, oh, Roz is here.
I can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
That is so good. That is so
Especially
good.
with your glasses on.
Yeah.
I can't.
The hair too.
Forever. Now you will have.
That should be your. Was it
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, that should be your. Yeah.
Monsters Inc. is not a day, but unfortunately
No.
no.
Oh, this is great. This is great. Well, it's just like the reason I wanted to talk about this is because Burn has that sauce, right? That differentiator is not in the dumbbells that we have on the floor or the pull-up rig or the floating floor. Like all those things are cool too, but the real differentiator is the way that we treat people and the nuances of even something as subtle as like giving somebody a nickname. You know how many people out there never got a nickname before, right? It's incredibly sad how some people come into the doors so overwhelmed by life, and it's sad, but I'm also happy about it at the same time because now it's an opportunity for me to say, all right, let me impart my beliefs on you, and if you like them, you're going to stay and you're going to change your life, and if you don't and you're not ready for it, then you might not stay, and that's okay. But I'm going to always make sure that you can come back, whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
And so, anyways, anything left on that topic, the nickname, the inside joke topic, anything that you guys wanted to bring forward? Okay, all right, cool. So, hey guys, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna get in a circle, all right, and I'm gonna start it, and I'm gonna start our the next section here is we're gonna just go around in a circle and do a bunch of different push-up progressions. Yeah. I'm gonna start, and so let's go ahead and circle up. I'm gonna start, and what I want you guys to know at home is what I'm about to show you right now is how you're going to get your first push-up even on your knees. Yeah. All right? How many people, gals show up to the gym and their first day, not that they can't, they just have not been able to do one yet even with their knees with chest to the back.
I would say more than 60%.
A lot of people.
I would agree.
A lot of people. Well, we also talk to the people in our communities who aren't necessarily fitness enthusiasts, right? We're talking to the stay-at-home mom or the working mother who's had a few children, and who all has children here? I know you do, right? Yep. Like maybe you can say something for us, but at least Morgan went through this, so I'll speak from Morgan's perspective, and you can elaborate on it, but. You lose a little bit of your identity when you begin to build a family. Why don't you talk about that real quick from a mom's perspective?
Especially with working out, I lost a little bit of my identity because I went from an athletic background to coming in and being a beast, and then had a baby, went on bed rest, and went 6 months without working out, and then come back with the same mentality that I'm a beast, but I had to humble myself. So I had to give myself grace and allow myself to recover and to go through those steps that someone who has never really been in the gym and do that as well in order to gain my strength slowly. So it was a long process, but I'm starting to find my identity as an athlete again instead of just a mom.
I love that. And so your identity could be, I'm not a fitness person too, right? Well, let's realize that we create our identities. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us, and we get an opportunity to create that. So if you're somebody that is not a fitness person right now, or you might feel like you need a shake-up in your life, right? It's crazy, but push-ups actually are a stepping stone, or one of the first ones to start to get you the confidence to, establish that new identity. So I am going to show you, if you've never done a push-up before, how you do a push-up. All right? What you're going to do is you're literally just going to lay on the ground, all right? And look at where my hands are at, all right? My thumbs, okay, could touch my chest, all right? Or my nipples, they're gonna touch my nipples, okay? Hey, don't be nasty, okay? And then I'm gonna keep my elbows in, all right? And what I'm going to do is make sure I'm laying on the ground first by taking just my hands off the ground completely. I'm laying, okay? And what I'm going to do, and I promise you that you'll be able to do this. If not, I'll show you how to do it on a chair too, in an upright position. Disengage the hands to make sure you're laying flat. Your knees are in the ground. Look at my toes in the ground too. I'm not gonna have my feet up in the air. I need points of contact. And what I'm going to do on the count of 3 is I'm going to push myself to the top of this movement with all of the mighty force that I have in my body. All right, and it's gonna be a 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna keep my core engaged. I'm gonna keep my glutes engaged, and boom! And I'm gonna explode like a power rep. See, where most people try to go wrong in their push-ups is they aren't strong enough to get down to the bottom of the repetition, and so they'll stay up top where they're really strong. And this range of motion right here, it's only going to make your shoulders round. It's going to cause your front deltoids to be overdeveloped, and that's going to give you a rounded posture. And so I'm on the ground, I lift up, and I'm 3, 2, 1 blast off. And I mean like powerful. I'm not thinking about doing a push-up. I'm thinking about pushing the ground away. That's how powerful I want you to be. So it's a 3, 2, 1, boom, and you're driving it up, all right? And make sure from your shoulder through your hip down to your knee, that's that one straight line right there. Now, if you're not quite there and you actually really do that and you go as hard as you can, all right, the next step, Beck, if you go grab a box real quick, the next step is gonna be just to elevate yourself, all right? And I promise, we can elevate you all the way to a wall if we need to, but I promise you, if you desire to do push-ups, if you desire to get this movement down, okay, all you're gonna do is the same thing here, literally the same thing. Just lay on it, okay? Now I'm upright. It's gonna take a little bit of my body weight away. I'm gonna tuck my hands in, and I'm gonna do the same thing, 3, 2, 1, blast off. So that is how you get started. I'm gonna pass it to you next. Explain to us from Rebecca as a trainer, how do I go from that on my knees, all right, how do I go from on my knees, laying on the ground, to then being able to the next level, which is doing the repetitions where my chest is hitting the ground every time. Just walk us through the form there, walk us through the mentality there. How do you train, the person that you train today? Like, what does that interaction look like with you and them? Go ahead and explain to us.
So you're asking just to be able to do multiple reps?
Yeah, do multiple reps now and show us what that looks like.
So if somebody's, still working on their just building that strength to continue to do their push-up. Well, number one, I would like to point out, a lot of people feel like this is the correct form. Yeah. So their elbows are in line with their shoulders, and if you saw what Devan was doing, and of course what I just showed you, you want to make sure those elbows are diagonally back. That's going to help you engage your chest more than it is your shoulders. So that's just one thing. But from here, as you're coming up, again, keeping that core tight, keeping your hips tucked under, bringing your whole body with you, whenever you go from here, you can, the more that you start building that strength in, continue, drop down, and then I would ask them to just continue lifting those hands, engaging, drop it down, power through, and then just go from there, just continuing that motion. What else should anything else y'all can think of?
No, I think that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Okay.
I think touching your chest to the ground is really, really important too here to get the full range of motion, right?
Another thing too that I feel like I see sometimes whenever we do start from this point is that wanting to worm. So really just making sure as a trainer that I'm standing there watching their back, watching their hips, everything is at that straight line rather than going like this, because that, of course, it's going to hurt your lower back. It completely defeats the whole purpose of the push-up.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah.
Great, so awesome. So that's step number 2. And then step number 3, remember, we're working to get you to a normal push-up, okay? So step number 3, Carrie's gonna show you step number 3. We call this one like the hybrid push-up. So half of it's gonna be on your knees, half of it's going to be off your knees. Go ahead, Carrie.
Okay, first thing I would say is make sure those hands are stacked over their shoulders. Me, personally, I like my fingertips spread out because people are so in. And plus it's for their wrists, so hands underneath those shoulders. You're gonna come all the way down, chested to the ground. You're gonna drop those knees to the floor, put all that weight into that pressure, same thing like you're pushing that floor away from the floor. So toes coming all the way down to the chest, elbows pointing back, push it up onto those knees. Back flat, that way you're not doing the worm too, but hopefully they haven't started the worm. yet.
Perfect. Becky, take us to the next one.
All right, so the next step up would be to just drop one knee, right? So you're going from that full plank position and then dropping down to 2 knees there. Now we're gonna drop to 1 knee, right? And I think it's really important that you have to keep their lower body engaged, right? So I always tell people to squeeze their quads so that they don't start to sag at the hips, right? If we engage that lower body, right? So I'd let myself down, drop 1 knee, push up, right? Pop that knee up, down, drop that 1 knee, assist up. Right, but just still keeping those glutes tight and not letting that lower back dip down into the floor.
Love that. Love that. Okay, Nick, you ready? Mm-hmm. All right, so now take us through how you are going to teach someone to go from a 1 knee push-up to no knees at all.
All right, so they're, like everybody said, they're gonna have their hands underneath their shoulders, chin out of their chest. Then they're gonna go all the way down, tap. All right, and then you're gonna grip the floor, explode up. All right, you can also, what I like to do, which may be going away from what you're trying to say, I like to do hand release push-ups too. They can go all the way down, pick themselves up, and then I like to tell them, just like you fell on the floor, how are you gonna get back up? You're gonna push yourself up, and then squeeze those quads all the way up.
Good. Go ahead and hold that position for 1 moment. Okay, so now just some form cues. As you guys can see, this cervical spine is nice and straight here, okay? And her shoulders, look at this straight, beautiful line all the way down. You know, you can see this straight line from her shoulders all the way down to her wrists. Another straight line you want to look out for is this straight line from fingertip to fingertip. If I drew this line right here and you did nothing else but touch your chin out in front of that line, go ahead and do a push up, touch your chin in front of that line. Everything else, okay, everything else is in alignment when your chin is out front. What happens when Rebecca showed us the bad way to do it, so flare the elbows out and take the chin behind the line. All right, now we're talking about shoulder impingements, we're talking about breaking the hips, and that's even like uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, we
All
see
right.
a lot of this.
A lot of that, right? Just because it's easy, and we're gonna take the path of least resistance, especially when we don't necessarily understand the technique.
I'm not worthy push-up, this guy right here.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy.
Isn't that from Wayne's World?
Yes.
I love that movie. But real quick side note, here in Tallahassee, they have a lot of fun. There's a Spirit Week over here, and they have a Shrek Day on the 18th, and they're all wearing different like Shrek costumes, and then they have a Bird Day on the 19th, and then what are you guys dressing up like giant birds?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in a chicken costume.
Yeah. Carries a pelican and it's really frightening.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
Really creepy. I found it at Goodwill. Like, it was speaking to me. It's my vibe.
It's really, really scary.
I'll put feathers on it.
Really scary. Scary Carrie, back for more.
Oh yeah.
Just please tag us a lot, because we want to see all your stuff.
You came on the wrong week, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, go back into that push-up position one more time here, Nick. All right, so you have that straight line. That's a good little cue for you guys. This is a straight line here, and then there's another straight line from this shoulder all the way down to that heel. You see that straight line as well. So this is good positioning. She's gonna engage the glute muscles. She's gonna engage the core, like Becky said, engage the quads, dig the toes into the ground, all right? And then lower down, you're stiff as a board. You should be able to set a 2x4 on your back just like this, and make sure that you can feel it touching your butt and touching your upper back. Go ahead.
Arm day, Nikki.
There we go, Nick. Okay, you're good. That girl. All right. You know, and then from there, that's the standard push-up, right?
Show me a no hands push-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
A no hands push-up? Okay.
That looks great.
Is that good? All right. No, we're not going to do that. We're kidding. Okay. That's called penguin push-ups. All right. The next level from here is all you're going to do is go back to the same mentality I was talking about at the beginning, where you're going to push the ground away and explode up. Only this time you're on your toes, not your knees, and you're actually going to leave the ground. All right. There's one little hybrid one right before that. You can go up, boom. Okay, this push-up right here is going to make you work on that explosiveness. And then right after that, you're gonna be flat push-ups. Okay, and then you wanna go to Supermans. Okay, and then you wanna go to full plyometric Supermans. Okay?
That's a one-way ticket to rug burn today for 5 minutes.
So there's levels to it. And then you could put a weighted vest on, and then you could do plyometric push-ups with a weighted vest on, and then you could clap behind your legs. You could do all types of stuff. But go through that progression, take that seriously, because when you get stronger with your push muscles, the entire body gets stronger too, okay? All right, here we go. All right, let's head over to the pull-up rig, and we're gonna do question number 3 for you guys. How can I do my first pull-up? Let's go. Who wants to step up and do this one? Who wants to step up here and show us? How about Carrie? Show us the modification down for somebody that is pretty far away from doing a pull-up, and we just need to start to create stabilization and endurance in the lat muscles.
Okay, yeah. So knowing my luck, I'm gonna stick. I'm blonde. Okay, right? Okay, rip 60s. So I wanna make sure that their elbows are tucked in. Okay, I would tell them the closer you put your feet to the flowing floor, the harder it is. So if you want to mod it, just take that step back. But I want that back flat, squeeze that glute. That way your back isn't hyperextended because you're going to let yourself fall all the way down. And I want you to keep those elbows close to those ribs. Pinch those shoulder blades as tight as you can. Slowly go down. That way, the slower you go, obviously the harder it is, but what I see a lot is people go super fast and then just automatically it just doesn't engage anything. So just keeping it nice and tight, nice and controlled, that way it helps you.
Analog for overhead pull, right? So like a seated chair, right, would be a more analogous movement, right?
Yeah. Okay, feet, I want to make sure that head is right underneath the rig.
Palms facing away, we're going to pull.
Yep, palms facing away, chest upright. All I'm going to have you do is you're going to pull yourself up.
Whoa, we got elevated.
Sorry.
Show me
beginners, start here.
Sorry. My beginners is this. Okay. Sorry. Okay, feet here. Oh God, now I'm ready. I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. This is my beginner. Okay, no, sorry. Palms are gonna be facing in. Heels are gonna be right underneath there. All I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna use your legs to pull yourself up. Pinch those shoulder blades. Bring it right back down. Okay. A lot of people I see too is they lean back and pull it up. So keeping that eyes, like that spine, nice and long. So pretend that there's like a wall behind you. You're just gonna pull yourself up, squeeze those shoulder blades, slowly again going right back down.
You see her using her legs just only as much as she needs to do the movement, right? And then also you see her really overemphasizing those elbows and sticking them right in her back pocket. It's like you just really want to make sure, like she's saying, that the shoulders, do this again, that the shoulders, okay, here, y'all, are stacked over the hips. Okay, the shoulders are stacked over the hips, and these elbows get stuck right in those back pockets right there. All right? Good job.
Okay.
All right, Betchup, and then Nikki, jump up here and show us how we use the bands.
I don't need the box. All right.
Well, we want to use both first, right? Because that's the next progression is like
the most resistant.
Right.
Of course.
I got you. That's what trainers are for, girl. I got you. Here we go.
All right.
Talk to us about how we want to get into this thing.
Okay, so usually starting with your feet up or your knees bent, then you step into the band. The next thing I tell everybody is fully extend that leg and then cross that leg over so you don't slingshot out of it. Yes. All right. Then you have your hands that are going to be shoulder width apart. All right. And then for me, I'm super tall, so I'm going to start with my chin above the bar. All right. Then make sure you're nice and controlled. Full extension, chin above the bar. Try to drive your elbows towards the floor.
Notice this, when she says full extension, what she means is that she's not stopping. Okay, look at the elbow. She's not gonna stop like most people will stop like right here and then go back up. And that's not a pull up, right? We wanna make sure that you're elongating those lat muscles and stretching them and lengthening them out so that you can get the full range of motion. Good job, Nick.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Becky, how do I go from 2 bands to make my way to doing my first unassisted pull-up?
So I think for most people, working slow negatives is probably the fastest way to build a strength, right? So my first recommendation is if you can get over the bar, I want you to work on slow negatives.
Okay.
We're working the same muscle chain in reverse, right? So if you don't have the strength for the pull, you do have the strength to lower yourself down slowly. Most people do. Even if that means they start from a box, right? And they get up over the bar and they leave 1 foot on the box, right? And I lower myself down slowly. You know, just still making sure that I'm using the exact same muscle chain, but with a little bit of assistance. And then I move them to a jumping pull-up, right? Where they give themselves a little bit of a boost to get over the bar, pull, and now I go slowly as I can to that return, and I try to string as many of those as I can together, but until exhaustion, until I'm absolutely blasted. And then I think, you know, generally when somebody has 8 to 10 consecutive, there's a pull in there. right? If they're fresh, there's a pull. But in the beginning, that first rep is so shrimpy and slightly ugly. Generally the knees tend to come up and you're like jerking at the top, whatever. That first one counts, man. And there's nothing more satisfying than getting over the bar on your own for the first time. And you generally never lose that one pull-up. Even if you kind of take some time off and you've built up multiple reps, that first pull-up doesn't leave your body. It's permanent. It's stuck there, right? So yeah, I think the slow negatives are really the secret sauce to getting that first full rep.
Yeah, time under tension, right? Time under tension is really what builds the muscle, and I think in the eccentric motion, like you're talking about, you can always carry more load than you can concentrically. So, which is stupid science words for up and down. It's up and down. That's all it means. This is eccentric in a curl. This is concentric. Concentric contracts. Eccentric would lower in a sense. Let's get it back up here because I want to show y'all how to go from doing 8 to doing 12, okay? So jump up here, Beck. Let's pretend that this is, go ahead, that this is number 7 and 8. Number 7, okay, and then we're going back down. Number 8, get up there, hold it. I'm gonna have her hold this till absolute failure because time under tension, you're gonna hang up there for a minute. Time under tension, go ahead, Beck, you can go now. Time under tension is what's going to help you get, it's going to help your muscles adapt to the stress. So you have to put your body under the stress of more than 8 reps if you want to do more, right? So you have to actually practice that stress. And you're going to find that when you come out of that, okay, the next step is a negative. So if I'm going 7 and I'm going 8 and I'm going to hold, all right? Once I'm holding for like 30 seconds, I should be able to get 9. Once I'm getting to 9, all right, I can hold for 30 seconds. I should be able to get 10, if that makes sense, right? So every 30-second hold should be that next rep. When you are going for like a personal record, all right, and you really want to make sure that you're getting those last few reps, like Becky said, I'm going to give you just a couple tips on what not to do and what to do. Okay, what we are not doing is,
don't you dare,
kipping. Okay, we're not kipping. We're not going to do the rotation because we love our shoulders. You guys like your shoulders?
Yes. Love my shoulders.
I like my shoulders.
I want to keep them in one piece.
Me too. So we're going to go strict pull-ups. That's our recommendation at Burn. Not saying it's right. Not saying it's wrong. I know CrossFit does kipping and they think that's right. I think that's wrong. Well, for normal everyday people, for everyday people, right? Like if you're gonna be an athlete and go compete in the CrossFit Games, sure, go do your thing.
Yes, bang out as many as you can.
Yeah, but if your goal is to get one pull up, we're not gonna kip. Okay, all right. So to get that last one, I'm up there. I'm going for my PR. All right. What I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to make sure that when I go down, I have a little bounce at the bottom. Yeah. I'm gonna go down, bounce. Yeah. Okay. That little bounce, that little change of direction and momentum, what you don't want to do, okay, it's going to help you. What you don't want to do is go down and hang. You're not going to get back up, all right? No. Can't break your momentum.
No.
Do you guys have any other general tips on pull-ups that we didn't?
I think a lot of times most people's misconception is that they're going to pull straight up, right? And instead I want to angle my body away from the bar. I want to pull that bar to my chest, right, and act like I'm bending the bar over my head. Right, so I'm going to pull those elbows out, but most people, when they start here, they think they're going to start at a dead hang. They think they're going to pull their head straight up into the bar, right? But then you're shrugging your shoulders up, right? Your shoulders are in your ear holes, right? Instead, I'm going to depress my scaps, and that's actually a really great way to drill getting the pull started, is to just hang on the bar and depress your scapula, because what that does is it starts to angle me away from the bar, and now I can pull that bar to my chest and have the proper range of motion. And not stress my shoulders at the same time, because this is not going to work. I want you to do that one more time. I'm going to move your long, beautiful locks, and I want to see if you want to bring the camera over here. I want to make sure that we can see what you're talking about. This is how you're going to start it, right? This is a good. So scapular depression, I think about taking that shoulder blade and putting it in my hip pocket. I want to slide it down. All right, so I want to take my shoulder blades and just touch them down, right? And all I'm going to do is just do that for a few reps to kind of get the feel of what that pull should start like. Right, but what that's also going to do is put my body in the right position so that I can pull that bar to my chest, angle me backward a little bit, right? So now I start that scapular depression, and my chest comes to the bar, and not my forehead or my chin or my teeth or any of those things.
And you can also do that on the bands too.
Correct.
All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, I'm going to give you guys one more round to give everybody in Burn Nation your best piece of advice. I'll start with mine. Put your workout on your schedule every single day and don't change it. Like for me, 4:45, or if I'm on the road, 4:30 at Tallahassee, because they're cray-cray here.
That's right.
That first camp of the day, that's my jam. And I never have to make the decision of when I'm going to work out again. And for a busy person like me, I'll get decision fatigue if I make too many decisions. So that's my best piece of advice is use that early morning workout. Ideally, obviously everybody has different schedules. Whatever time of the day it is for you, make it that day, make it that time, and do not miss. It's non-negotiable. What's yours?
I would say consistency beats intensity every single time. All right. I would rather you work out 4 days a week for the rest of your life instead of 6 days a week for 2 weeks and then take 2 weeks off because you're blown. Right? I would rather see you go for the long haul and hammer that nail over and over and over and be consistent than start and stop and start and stop, because that's where we just lose ground and just keep making up the same game.
Carrie.
I would say if you're going through anything, just leave it at the door and just give it all that you have on the floor, because you don't have that time back. It's a once or done. So if you gave a half-assed workout, then you just lost a good workout. So if you're going through anything like physically or mentally, I know we want to focus on it, drop it at the door. That's just going to be your best way. That way you push yourself even more than you know it.
Okay.
I would just say show up. Honestly, I mean, not everybody is motivated every single day to get here, but the whole point of working out and being consistent, coming every day, you're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to want to be, lifting heavy dumbbells or, sweating your butt off during a cardio day, whatever it is. Everybody goes through different things, but just be here. Just come and, you'll be happy when you leave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nick.
Mine would be comparison is a thief. So don't compare your journey with someone else's, and to give yourself grace. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So whatever you're going through and the person next to you, if they're doing more, don't worry about them. This is you versus you. Mm-hmm. So that's mine.
All right, you guys. Hey, Tally, that was great. That was awesome. I hope that you will join us for 2 Claps on 2. We're in Tallahassee, Florida. There's another Tallahassee location coming soon that this crew is putting on the other side of town. We went and toured it this morning. But I'm going to do trainer talk live, live in the flesh with our trainers across the country as we travel. I'm going to Virginia next. And when I'm at home, Matt Morris and I will be doing trainer talk together. So this is a staple episode on the Burn Bootcamp podcast. And you're going to get it at the same time every single week. So make sure you subscribe to YouTube and the podcast. It's on all platforms. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can find us, the Burn Bootcamp podcast, trainer talk. 2 Claps on 2, 1, 2.